Hey y'all. Alright, now I know a lot of y'all have heard about the 11-year-old little girl that was missing in Minnesota, and she was found. Okay, I wanted to show this to y'all yesterday, but it just had me just a little disturbed. Okay, there was an 11-year-old little girl that was missing a few days ago, and she was missing for like 12 hours. And she was found. She was brought back home, but the police have removed her and her siblings from the household. I've got two articles that I want to show y'all regarding this, and I don't know, y'all need to see this. It's so terrible. It's heartbreaking to know that these kids had to live in this condition and in this environment for so long. And the sad thing is, nothing was done about it. Nothing. The authorities had been contacted. Child Protective Services has been in the home so many times, and the kids still live there. There had even been a death of one of this lady's children, unexplained death, that they're still investigating. Okay, so this first article I want to read y'all. It says, Brooklyn Park missing girl found. Family has lengthy history with child protection. And the little girl's name was, her name is Tanisha Tenen. Okay, let's see. This one was published on the 18th of June. It says, an 11-year-old girl from Brooklyn Park was located safely around 4 p.m. in Bloomington, which is 20 miles from where she lives. A neighbor happened to be at a clinic for an appointment when she said she saw the girl sitting on a curb. She said that somebody dropped her off. That's all we know, Marilyn Harris said, who drove the little girl back home. I said, weren't you missing? Your mom must be worried sick. Somebody dropped me off, she said. That's all she told us. Court documents made it very clear that child protection has been extremely involved in this family's life. Cases detail a mother refusing medical care for her children after a car accident and an ongoing investigation into the unexplained death of an 8-year-old child in the home. The abuse is well documented, but police can't explain why children would still be living there. Brooklyn Park investigators spent the day in protective suits, sorting through the house that they say is filled with rodents and bugs. The detectives who are inside said it's very concerning conditions unfit for children to be in. The children's mother was convicted of malicious punishment of a child in 2008 and had faced countless more reports. Court documents regarding the children in the home show Child Protection worked with the family from 1999 to 2000, again in 2006, once more in 2009, at least 3 times in 2015, and at least 3 more reports came into the Hennepin County Child Protection in 2016. I just know things weren't great over there, and I was hoping they were getting better, said a neighbor, Emily Frennett. The police have been over there so many times. Court documents detail accounts of one child sexually abusing 2 half-siblings, then being allowed to return home. The filing reads, over the objection of the department, the court ordered that child 1 return to her mother's care under the protective supervision of the department. Filings showed the alleged abuser was living back in the home in September of 2016, just days after Child Protection learned that child 1 had admitted to wanting to have sexual contact with child 1's siblings again. So the child admitted to wanting to have sex with the siblings all over again. Oh my God. There's also currently an open criminal and child protection case against the mother involving the death of her 8-year-old son in February. Documents say the medical examiner found scars on the boy's back and genitals, indicative of being hit with a belt or a cord. The cause of his death is undetermined. Despite this ongoing investigation, up until Monday morning, the children were still in their mother's care. Police have now removed all children from the home until 5. Eyewitness News, their mother is in the hospital. They said they couldn't say why she was admitted. Okay, now this is so hard for me to read because it just literally, it just, it grosses me out a little bit, okay? Okay, this is the back of the house, things that had been removed from the home and things they had just thrown outside. Okay, it says the Brooklyn Park mother who reported her 11-year-old daughter missing Monday has a long history with child protection workers, most recently involving the unexplained death of her 8-year-old son. The girl was found safe, but the probe into her disappearance revealed that the family has been the subject of repeated investigations alleging physical and sexual abuse and threats of violence for at least a decade, including one case that ended in a criminal conviction for malicious punishment of a child in 2006. The two most recent petitions for protection were filed in Hennepin County Juvenile Court after the February death of the mother's 8-year-old son. One was a request for emergency protection in February, and another petition was filed in May. Yet the children were still living with their mother in Brooklyn Park, a suburb of Minneapolis. The medical examiner has not determined a cause of death for the boy. Authorities said they are continuing to investigate the death. Children Protection Records said doctors found scars on the boy's back that indicated he had been hit with a belt or a cord, along with other scars. The mother reported the boy's older sister a runaway after the two argued at about 3 a.m. Monday, and she walked away from the home in the 8200 block of Queen Avenue, North. Authorities said the mother was not cooperative. NPR News is not naming the mother nor the children because of the abuse allegations. According to a search warrant affidavit filed Tuesday in the missing girl case, the mother told police she had rat-tailed maggots coming out of her skin. Alright. It says officers found the home flooded and the woman told them that she had been throwing boiling water on the walls to get rid of the bugs. Let me just stop right here for a second because this is where I got sick at. I've never heard of rat-tailed maggots. Just that word makes me just sick. Okay, but I pulled it up. And if y'all don't know what it is, look it up. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And to have, I just, oh my God, I can't imagine having something like that coming out of my skin. Oh my God. And I don't know what the boiling water on the walls is going to do with the bugs. Okay. Officers took the mother to North Memorial Hospital Monday. They found her 12-year-old son sleeping in a swing in the rain in nearby Norwood Park, her 7-year-old daughter at a friend's home, and her 3-year-old child inside the home. The missing 11-year-old girl was found about 20 miles away in Bloomington Monday afternoon by neighbors who said she was sitting outside a medical clinic. All the children were taken into protective custody Monday night. The city declared the home uninhabitable. In order for a house to be uninhabitable, it has to be something that is really, 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 really bad. I mean, I've seen homes that were like in terrible condition, okay? Or just a nasty, nasty, nasty mess. And they're able to clean them up and people are able to live in them again. So if it's uninhabitable, y'all, it's pretty bad. Nobody can live in there. It's not safe. Okay, and the landlord says there are a lot of problems. Calvin Johnson, who owns the split-level home, said the family moved in about 4 or 5 years ago. He said Tuesday that he was moving to evict them. Mess. Just a lot of stuff. There are a lot of problems, Johnson said at the home Tuesday. Grimy toys, dusty couches, stained mattresses, and yellowed books were haphazardly dumped on the deck of the house Tuesday morning when Johnson returned with 2 workers from Caba Junk Removal. When Johnson opened the garage of the house, it was full of trash, abandoned bikes, toys, and a car. The search warrant said all the bedding and mattresses had been thrown out of the home when officers arrived on Monday. That's the notice that was put on the house. Neighbors said they often saw children playing in front of their house, rarely with adult supervision. The children are always out in the cul-de-sac playing and being pretty unruly, said Andy Sichnetter, who has lived in the neighborhood for more than 20 years. I never saw the mom. Judge returns one child home, according to the records. The child protection records indicate county workers removed some of the children at times during the investigations, but often they were allowed to live with her under protective supervision. In one case, county workers removed an older child from the home after allegations he had sexually abused 2 younger siblings. However, a judge returned that boy to his mother in 2016 over the objection of the Department of Health and Human Services. So I'm assuming that's the 12-year-old that was found sleeping in the swing in the rain. Hennepin County Deputy Administrator of Health and Human Services, Jennifer DeCubelis, said Child Protection Services is continuing efforts to protect the children. In an emailed statement, she said the county did everything possible in the matter, including providing relevant facts and findings in court petitions. She noted the system was complex to ensure all voices are heard and that the juvenile court makes the final decision. It just is so sad to me. It just breaks my heart, that these kids had to live in this environment. Nobody should have to live like that. But, as parents, it's our responsibility to make sure that our children live in a safe environment, from getting hurt, from abuse, from filth. I mean, let me tell you, if a person has bugs coming out of their skin, it's got to be bad. It's got to be real, real bad. And it was also said, I saw in another report that the child, the little girl, Tanisha, she's actually ran away from home before. This is not, and she's only 11 years old. 11 years old, and she's running away from home. Usually you hear about that from, children that are between the ages of, 14 to, say, 17. Usually don't hear about an 11-year-old running away. And for an 11-year-old to run away multiple times, I can't say that I blame her. I mean, it's terrible that she even had to put herself in a situation like that. Because if anything, she should have been able to be home with her mom. It just, I just don't understand. It's one thing, to have kids and, things get a mess or whatever. But that's when you clean it up, And there's also a difference between a clean mess and you could have a house that looks clean. There might not even be a mess. It could just be filthy. It doesn't take a lot to clean. I mean, you can get cleaning products from anywhere. Anywhere. You can go to Dollar Tree and get cleaning products for $1 if it's, that serious. I mean, you can get cleaning products from anywhere. And it doesn't take a lot of time. Just some cleaning stuff and some water and, it's clean. Like, it just takes a little bit of effort, just a little bit of initiative. And I don't know, like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, because that is absolutely ridiculous. And to me, I mean, that's more filth than, than anything. I mean, I don't know what the inside looked like, because I haven't seen any pictures of it or anything. But dang, man, all I can think about is the mother and the stuff she's got coming out of her skin. It's literally just got me feeling nauseous. Like, I can't, oh God, I can't handle all that. It just really just makes me sick. I feel so bad for the kids. I mean, to be honest, I'm glad that they were all removed from the home. They should have been removed a long time ago. I mean, for God's sakes, come on. If the child has been sexually abusing the other children in the household, and then admits that he wants to do it again, he should have never been back to the house. And that could have been a reason, I'm sure, why this poor little girl wanted to leave home. Like, I mean, and I just don't get how, okay, now I do see where it said that, Child Protective Services had been in the house of 2016. Okay, but it did say that there was an unexplained death of a child. So with an unexplained death of the kid, it just makes me wonder, it doesn't say where Child Protective Services had gotten involved in that. I don't know, but it does say right here, though, one was a request for, okay, the child died in February. Okay, but then it does say that there was an emergency protection filed in May. But the kid still stayed at home. And by looking at this, and I also saw a picture of, like, the garage. Okay, but the garage, you can have, like, a room that the kids, that's not their living space. That's one thing if that's, piled up or nasty or whatever. Like, that's whatever. The kids, as long as the children aren't in that living area, then that's okay. But they live in the house. They use the rooms in the house and stuff. And I just don't get it, because just for me looking at this porch or whatever, the back deck, and the things that they took out of the home and put inside the moving truck or whatever, the junk truck, it takes time to create such a mess. It creates time for a place to get so infested with rodents and bugs. It takes time for a person to have maggots coming out of their skin. And, and then, like, I don't know, like, I've never heard of a rat-tailed bug, but, I mean, obviously there is such a thing. I did see it, I did pull it up and I did see it, but it just seems like something like that would be kind of rare, but maybe it's, maybe it's in different areas, different geographic areas, but it does take time to create such a massive mess and such massive filth to where all of this stuff is attracted to it. And that's what I don't get. If they were there or something in February, it's only June now. That's only 4 months ago. It takes longer than 4 months to make such a mess like that. I mean, we're talking about something that is created over time. I just don't get how the people can come in there and see this terrible mess and not do anything about it. Maybe they'll have an update on the children and I can give it to y'all, because that is my main concern, that these kids are okay. But I am very happy to hear, though, that they have all been removed from the home. I do hope, though, that the 11-year-old and the 3-year-old are at least together, and the 7-year-old, because there's a 7-year-old child. But the 12-year-old, however, if he's doing anything, that was the one, which I'm assuming that was, doing the sexual acts, of course, I don't think that he needs to be with them, sibling or not, because they're doing very inappropriate things. And I do hope and pray to God that, whoever he's with and that the state can at least get him some sort of help. Because, for someone to do something like that, a child, for anyone, but, for a child to start doing things like that to their siblings, that is from being traumatized. And, you can be traumatized from a lot of different things. They could be traumatized just from living in this home, and then it did say, that the mother had been maliciously, I'm going to say malicious abuse. Let's see how they worded that. Let's see. Malicious punishment. Okay. And I don't know what the malicious punishment was. But I mean, the way that I'm interpreting this is, these children were being abused. They were being abused in a lot of different ways. They were being neglected. They were being abused physically, and they were suffering from sexual abuse. And that can cause a lot of problems. And the child who was, sexually abusing the other siblings, who's to say he wasn't abused also? So it's a very sad situation. And then I thought it was a little odd how the one neighbor said he's lived there for 20 years and he never saw the mom. Like, I don't know, I just think that's a little strange. But I really wanted to show this to y'all because I don't know who all seen this or, heard about it or whatever, but it just really, really touched me, and it really just made me very sad. It made me sad and sick at the same time, because nobody deserves to live like that, and especially an innocent child, and I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, the kids were old enough, they could have got up and, they should have got up and cleaned up, but it's like, you have to teach your kids to clean. If you don't teach them when they're young, they're not going to, You have to teach them. And not just that, you don't have to just teach them to do it. Us as parents have to be an example for them. Whatever they see us doing, they catch on to and they do. And everybody knows that. Children mock what they see. So if a child sees the parent cleaning, cooking, doing things like that, then, the child is going to do that because that's what they see. That's what they know. A child only does what they know. And it's a very sad, sad story. But a lot of sad stories have happy endings, and I hope that by them being removed from the home, I hope that they can find happiness, with another family. And that, I'm praying that they're placed with a family, that loves them and gives them the love and attention and affection, and gets them the help that they're going to need because, these children they're going to need some help. They're going to need some therapy and, they're going to need lots of love, and patience. The parents have to be patient with them because might not be as easy for one child as it is the next. You know, especially since there was a lot of neglect and there was also sexual abuse and stuff going on, and physical abuse. So, just wanted to show that to y'all. Thank you for listening. Say a prayer for these children. You know, that they can find love and happiness, in a new home. And that the one little boy, the one that was abusing the other siblings, that he can get help and that he will grow to be a normal, healthy, happy man. So, God bless all of y'all. Thank you for listening. If y'all want to send me anything, my links for my email and my Facebook are down below. You can send whatever you like to either one. And until the next time, I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day.